do. Always look behind you. Even if you have a backup camera, always look behind you. Don't let that make you just cop out and stare at it, because you never know. Like in my neighborhood, we have kids who like to walk on these sidewalks, and if I just looked at the camera, I might not see them coming. So always look around. Don't let the backup camera make you lazy. What is up, guys? Zach here. So in my intro video, I said that I would make a vlog about the car crash. So that is what this is going to be about. I said I would make it, so I made it. Alright, let's get it going. First vlog on the channel. Lots of other YouTubers say that they get looks for having the camera up, so I'm also kind of excited to see if that happens. Just because I like attention. Just kidding. Maybe. Holy Jesus, there's lots of cars. Okay, finally. Let's go. Okay, so in my intro video, some of you, well, all of you who watched it know that I do not currently have a car that I can call my own and solely my own. The reason for that is because we used to have a car for my dad, a car for my mom, and a car for me. And then one day I was driving, instead of driving my truck, my dad needed my truck, so I was driving my mom's car, which was a 2012 Toyota Camry, the base model. I absolutely hated everything about it, but that's beside the point. And so I was with some friends. We were hanging out down by the lake, and you know, it's the typical teenager driving too fast with his friends in the car kind of deal. But basically, I took a corner going way too fast. Well, I don't know if I would say way too fast so much as too fast for the situation. The situation being that there was construction going on around there, and so there was a little bit of dirt around the corner that I forgot was there. And so while I turned into it, it was holding pretty well, and I thought, hey, I can go a little bit faster. And as soon as I tapped the gas, understeer. But it was understeer for maybe 3-4 feet, and then it caught, and then I was sideways, and then I kept correcting back and forth sideways, but the car just kind of got into a manji, for you drift guys who know what I'm talking about. It was just basically the tail was going back and forth, which is really kind of funny since it was front wheel drive, but started kind of manjiing, went off the road to the right. Thank God for the construction, even though it was the reason that I lost control in the first place. If it hadn't been for that, I might not even be here making this vlog right now, because we hit a manhole cover that was not surrounded by cement yet. Well, it was surrounded by a little bit, but it didn't have like a sidewalk or anything, you know? And so we hit it. It was maybe a foot tall, about a foot and a half tall. Hit the front right tire, the whole car jumped in the air, flew sideways, and stopped. And if that manhole cover had not been there, we would have gone into the ditch, probably rolled over, and there probably wouldn't have been any survivors. So thank you for that manhole cover. So yeah, that thing was encased in cement, and when the fire trucks got there, the first responders, because obviously somebody reported it to the police, seeing a car sideways in the road. When the first responders got there, they came, and that manhole cover was about 3 yards from where it was supposed to be, and all of the concrete that was around it was scattered. So yeah, we hit it pretty hard. I lost control doing probably 75 around a corner, so I was going pretty fast. And luckily that thing was there to stop us, but it just goes to show that you can you can be super confident. Like I said, I was too confident. That was the problem. I thought I could go a little bit faster, added a little bit of gas, and the car lost it. It went crazy, lost control. And so can happen to anyone. The ones who think they're the best drivers, it can still happen to them. But yeah, that is why I don't have a car currently. But I get to, I still drive my parents most of the time, and I get to work on the old truck with my dad, which is cool. It's not starting currently, but that's just kind of how old trucks work. Sometimes they don't start. It's unfortunate, but we'll get it going again, hopefully soon. That way I can get some footage of it up on the old interwebs, on the YouTubes, as they say. But yeah, so that is the story about how I wrecked my mother's car. And then after that, it was about December-ish. I was super grounded for everything and all of that, but they still let me drive myself to school in my truck. So that's what I did. And one day, it was roughly 20 or so degrees, and I had to get out of there fast because I had to be at work at 4:30, and so I had to get out of there. School lets out at 3:45, so I ran out. I got out of class a little bit early. Teacher let me leave because I had work, and so I got out, fired up the truck, took off immediately. Don't take off immediately. It is super bad for your engine because oil and whatnot, all the lubricating liquids and stuff have not spread out through the components yet. So, and I'm not going to claim to be a mechanic or anything. There's lots of things about cars I do not know, but one thing I do know is you should definitely let it warm up a little bit. If you're going to be late somewhere, go ahead and tell them you're going to be late. It's way better to let it sit and warm up than have your car break down and not be able to make it at all, which is what happened. So I was going, and I wasn't really paying attention because I was running late, so I was looking mostly just speedometer and back, obviously, because even though I'm running late, try not to break the law too much. So, and I'm going down a hill, so I'm just coasting, and I'm looking at the speedometer, and I look down, and the check engine light's on. So, oh great, what's this? Pull off, not on the side of the road. Try not to if you can. The engine's still running, and everything was still working. So I figured I could go a little bit and turn off at the next available parking lot. So I pulled into this grocery store near where I live, and went in, popped the hood. I knew enough about the parts of the engine and stuff that I thought maybe I could see what's wrong if it was obvious, and maybe it would be even not too bad to fix. Well, I could see what's wrong, and I talked about this a little bit in the intro video, if I included it. I don't know. I'm filming this vlog. It's like literally 30 minutes after I filmed that intro, so I haven't edited it yet. I don't know what's going to be in it. But it was about maybe a centimeter or so wide, couple inches long. Just a hole in the valve cover. So the 06 F-150 had the 5.4 liter Triton in it, has overhead cams, and there's a chain that runs up to them. I guess it's it's like a bike chain, so it's not just like chain link. Hopefully that's not what you thought, because we are car guys. So it had a chain running up to it, and that chain had plastic guides that run along it, and it's actually kind of a common problem with those 5.4 Tritons in the front. Not it breaking, but things going wrong with the kind of front end of that engine. And so what happened was it was super cold. I fired the truck up, took off immediately. It went from really cold to really hot, and this plastic guide that was in there didn't like that. And so it broke off. It fell down onto the chain, and the chain shot it up through this kind of channel that the chain ran through. And obviously when it shot up, it hit the inside of the valve cover, blew a hole in the valve cover, and I had oil all over the engine bay, just everywhere. And so the check engine light came on, obviously, because I had low oil pressure. So I shut the car off as soon as I parked it, but I left it there for a couple nights before we figured that we could patch it up enough to drive it home so that oil wouldn't be spraying everywhere. And then cleaned the engine bay, replaced the valve cover, traded it in, and that's how we got the 2014 F-150 that we have now, which my dad took because he paid for the first truck and he liked driving that truck even though it was technically mine. So he took that one, and now I don't have a car, and that's kind of also a punishment for wrecking my mother's car. So that is why I don't have a car. But then me and my dad, when he got more into cars through my love of cars, we decided we wanted to get a classic truck. So we searched all around. We decided Ford because we both like Ford, like the old Fords and whatnot. And just for the record, not a fanboy or anything. I love all cars. I'm in a JDM, or no, this is Korean, Kia. I'm in a Korean car right now, which I love this car. I like this car so much more than the Kia Optima. My dad has a Porsche, so that's German. We have the 2 American trucks. I have tons of friends with JDM cars that I love. So I'm not a fanboy. I love all cars. That I may not like the way that they're modified, but that's all about owner preference, so that's not my business anyways. But anyways, continuing, where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, how we got the old truck. So we found one online. It was in Dallas, which is about a 4 hours drive from Austin. So we drove up there. It was a volunteer fireman. It belonged to his dad. He didn't have time to work on it anymore. Hadn't been running for a while, so we got it. We got it for a really good price. I'm not going to say what it is, but we got it for a really good price and fixed it up, and we are gonna sell it. We're kind of gonna flip it, and makes me a little sad because it is the first kind of car that I've really done any work on. I rebuilt the whole rear brakes myself and helped my dad. We made kind of a custom wood insert so we didn't have to do like the normal classic truck wood bed thing, so that we could just lift it out and use the metal bed that was already in there. So we got some work into the truck, and we got it running and everything like that. It needed a new gas tank and all of that stuff. So yeah, but it was the first truck I really kind of put work into, and so it's gonna be kind of sad to see it go. We still have it now, but that was the plan from the beginning, so I can't really complain too much. Oh wow, there's a Kia Optima that's the same package right in front of me. How dare they? But it's all good because it's white and there's no tinted windows. So yeah, but that's kind of the story on all the vehicles. Well, I suppose I did the story on all the other vehicles, so I might as well talk about my dad's Porsche for a little bit. My dad has a 2000 Porsche Carrera 4, which is for sale. So if any of you are looking for that, it's a very well-kept car. Ever since we got it, it has been his third child. That is completely garage-kept, not driven very hard ever, sadly. I've only driven it once. Other than that, he's the only person who's... Actually, he let my mom drive it for Mother's Day one day, but she was terrified and made him start driving again. But that's the only person who's driven it. Is my mom has driven it once. I drove it for prom last year, so I got to drive it then. And then other than that, my dad's driven it every other time. Fairly low miles. I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to talk about it just for lack of knowledge, but it's pretty low miles. Again, super well kept. All the maintenance has been through Porsche, so we know everything's getting done right. And it's a convertible, so if any of you are looking for that, convertible automatic Carrera 4 from 2000. So the last year that they were kind of really wide until they kind of skinnied out, and now they're getting wide again, thankfully. But yeah, it's never been in the rain more than just some light sprinkles at a car show once, and very, very well maintained car. Most cars from that age and that model of Porsche were not extremely well kept, not known for being extremely well kept. So, SVT Lightning. I don't know, you guys probably saw that before I did because you can see through my window, but that's really cool. I wouldn't mind having an SVT Lightning. I think if I had an SVT Lightning, though, I would probably make it a replica of the one from the first Fast and Furious movie. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, if any of you are looking for a 2000-ish Porsche Carrera 4 and are anywhere near Austin, Texas, I believe ours is still for sale. I should probably double check that before I put this vlog out, but pretty sure it's still for sale. So yeah, that's a rundown of all of our vehicles. This is kind of a long vlog. It's the first one I've made, but I can probably cut a little bit out of it as well. So like, comment, subscribe, everything, all my social media down in the description. You guys know the deal. If you're any kind of person who's been on YouTube for a little bit, you know.